Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where last episode we brought our habitation module up to our colony, and we're next going to need to bring up our mining module. Now that will also require some minor modifications here, so let's hop on into the VAB and open up our mining module here. There we go. We'll load that, and once again I think we lift this with this Rockamax tank empty. And we also ditch our telescoping hydraulic cylinders. I'll go ahead and rename this the version low gravity, no atmosphere. Perfect, LGNA. We'll save that. And from here, we can ditch our engines. So this Vernier engine can go away. This Vernier engine can go away. This Vernier engine can go away. And this Vernier engine can go away. And then we've got this fuel tank here and this empty tank here. So we cannot put this octagonal strut on the Convertitron. That is the reason why this Rockamax tank exists and is empty. This Rockamax tank is primarily being used here as a spacer as well, and we're not going to need this Probodobodine Octo. That can definitely go away. Was that attached to a cubic octagonal strut clipped in? Yes, it was. We'll get rid of that. Fantastic. What else? We don't need this mobility enhancer. That's for sure. This gets lifted empty, and these get lifted empty as well. I'm currently wondering, do we need this stage at all? If we were to lift this like so, and dock it up like that, A, we have a little bit of clipping here. I'm sure it's fine. And B, that would end up meaning that this fuel gets transferred here and here. And that's maybe okay. And we do want to have this fuel tank here, which will be intended to be a fuel storage receptacle for our Convertitron, right? That's the idea there. For a contract, we need what? 5,000 units of ore in our outpost. This holding tank only holds 1,500. So that's definitely a bit of a concern. We could attach a second tier onto this. That's an interesting option, actually. So what that would end up looking like, I can never remember where the ore storage containers are in this. Payload? No. Obviously not coupling. I would expect them to be in utility, but I don't actually see them here. So let's just search ore. There we go. Jumbo holding tanks. I mean, that's probably too big. That holds 3,500. So that would get us up to 5,000. Now, this does say that it must be fully assembled when launched. So we're probably not going to be able to get this contract with this launch. And as we can see here, there's some clippage going on here. So I don't think we do quite that, but maybe we do 1, 2, 3. That gives us access to 4,500 here, which means that we have 6,000 capacity. That would do. The major question is, how would this be? I mean, we're already docked in here, right? So how would this be set up for giving itself stabilization? We could simply have it be on landing legs. That would be kind of dumb, but we could do that. Alternatively, we could do wheels here as well, and the wheels would go like down here, and we just hope that they didn't burn off on ascent. That would be the hope. Let's get this moved in over this way. I want to check to see, where did I put that? About there, just above this slightly grayer line. Okay, so we would need that to go not like that, not like that, but like that. Cool. So something like that. We'll just snap it into place here. I don't think we need other wheels up here. Although we could duplicate it and put it up there. It's not a problem. So those would go like that, and then I'll just ditch that. And then this would go up here like that. We'd snap that into place as well, just to make sure it's relatively symmetrical. Now that's not within the fairing. We would need to bump that down. There we go. That's not within the fairing. We could extend the fairing, but this is already a very long fairing. We can just hope that that is pretty occluded by the fairing, isn't it? The fairing should provide decent heat protection there. And then we do something kind of like this, although I'm concerned about the location of these wheels. We'll likely need to move them up. So I'm going to put them here. And here. Kind of like that. And then we'll need to have another docking port system here. So I'm just going to end up... I hit the wrong button there and minimize the game. Perfect. I'm going to duplicate this. But we're going to then ditch everything here. Like that. And then we will attach this in like so. We'll grab... I minimize the game again instead of hitting Alt. I'm hitting the Windows key. That's perfect. We're going to bring this in like so. And I want it to be quad. Okay. Going in this way so that it doesn't get reset. Perfect. Something like this. Okay. Now, again, I don't think we're going to get credit for this outpost. Because it needs to be fully assembled when launched. Which is kind of insane. But we can set up a new outpost later that's fully assembled when launched if we need to. We'll see if this one ends up working. This is our quote-unquote real colony. And then we'll have like a... I don't know. Like, you know those Soviet nuclear cities that they built to like try to have... They're like fake cities that they were intended to be targeted in nuclear exchanges with the United States in the Cold War. It'll be kind of like that. It'll be a fake colony. I think that we can get away, since we've got the docking space here, I think we can get away with dropping this down to here. Perfect. And let's just hop over. I want to move this thing over. Come here, you remote guidance unit. There we go. Much more centralized. Perfect. Let's bring this on down and position that about there should be good, in theory. And we are going to want to go more up than sideways, that's for sure. This should be somewhat heavy, but not tremendously. The question is this going to be enough fuel here to dock us up? That's a good question. I don't know. It might. It might. We've got this module that we just kind of haphazardly threw in here, but it should be reasonably okay, I think. What's our thrust to weight here? 1.59? That's pretty decent, actually. Yeah, it might work. I think this is still a lot lighter than lifting it as we had it before. Because these are empty tanks, right? There's no second stage. The second stage is omitted. And this tank is now emptied. So I think this is still a lot lighter. Let's go ahead and launch it. And if we don't make it into orbit, well, we'll know that we're not going to make it. And if we need to send up a booster stage, if we make it into orbit, but not quite far enough, we can do that. And that would be a lesson learned. But I want to experiment with this, and let's see. It may cost us some money, no doubt about that. Throttle up, SAS on, and we're going to be pretty top-heavy here. We're going to go straight up pretty heavily here. So I'm not going to start any gravity turn here for a while. I want to push through the atmosphere quickly here. And it looks like we're trying to pull over the wrong direction. So let's just head on. Okay. This thing is pretty wiggly. That's exciting. Let's just lock to prograde here. Okay. It's definitely wiggly. No doubt about that. But we're going to get a lot of vertical speed here. And for the moment, that's okay. We're definitely having a bit of an inclination issue. I'm trying to fix that, but we don't have a ton of control here. This is going to be very interesting. Okay. Bring it on up. Boy, it really wants to pull down here. Noted. Okay, so our apoapsis height is currently about 35 kilometers. We've got 23 seconds of side booster activity left. For the moment, that's fine. Yeah, this is looking decent. So once again, we're going to target 100 kilometers here. 7, 6, 5. And a lot of our weight is in this fairing. There's no doubt about that. Okay. Side boosters are out of here. And we're just coasting at this point. Apparently we're tumbling. Noted. How's our electric charge? Our electric charge is fine. I'm reasonably okay with tumbling over to the horizon here. And we're going to, at the apoapsis here, which is a little ways away, we're going to go ahead and look to circularize. That's a little much. Okay, checking our delta V here, looks like we're fine. It looks like we are fine. So I'm going to deploy this fairing, get rid of a lot of our weight there. And now we're officially in space. So that's cool. I also want to extend these solar panels, which those solar panels are pretty far forward here. They might get a little broken, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Ooh, that's an interesting little bug over there. Visual bug going on, I think. Or no, that's not a visual bug at all. That's our fairing. Exciting. Okay, so our burn is going to be in about 40 seconds here, and I'm just going to warp forward so that our wiggle stops a bit. We've got plenty of delta V for this. So 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Cool. And off we go. I'm going to turn our brakes on. We don't need to have our brakes going. Or rather, our wheels going. That's a complete and total waste at this time. But we have an alternator on this engine, so we shouldn't have any problem there. This is going to be a pretty lengthy burn because we had very little horizontal speed going up, but we did that deliberately. So it should all be fine. Now we've got a lot of fuel left in these tanks. And we'll have enough to transfer some over here, and we'll do that after we finish our docking. Oh, I didn't put any RCS on this. Ooh, that's going to make things interesting for docking. Okay. RCS is on the station, so we could maybe change the station's velocity to match the rocket. I should have put RCS on this. That's very clear. We could actually put the RCS on at the station, but I'm not sure what the point of that would be, to be honest. Well, we're going to finish up this burn in about 8 seconds. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Just getting that last little bit here. Looks good enough. Cool. So we'll set the station as our target. We've got the colony habitation unit. I don't want to target the debris here. I want to target the actual colony core. There we go. Excellent. So the ascending node is all the way around over here. We've sadly already passed the descending node, but that's fine. So we can go ahead and add a maneuver here to bring this over like so. Cool. And we'll align for that maneuver. I'm going to quick save here before we physics warp because we could theoretically crack in. Okay. Yeah, that's really bendy. Even with these struts. That makes me sad, but it is what it is. Okay, so we're not going to physics warp that. We're just going to position here, and then we are going to time warp. This is going to be an interesting docking procedure without RCS. That's for sure. This is very big and bulky. This is only a minor burn here, though. So that's fine. I'm also wondering, you know, we should probably think about transferring this fuel soon. Perhaps after this burn. And then disabling crossfeed here and here. Well, we don't have to do it in both, I don't think. But our burn is going to be in about 40 seconds here, so let's go ahead and warp forward. 4, 3, 2, 1, and mark. Okay, that's probably good enough. We overshot slightly, but yeah, that's good enough. Cool. So at this point, I'm going to pin open this tank, this tank, this tank, and this tank. We're going to fill this tank. There we go. And we're also going to fill this tank. Although it's pulling out of this one, which is awkward. Yeah, that's very awkward indeed. I'm just wondering if we actually have enough to still have fuel out here. I'm not sure we do once we fill this. Well, we'll have a little bit. If we need to move it out of this tank, that's fine. We can do that. Okay, so there we go. And we will now unpin that one. And we'll pull out into here. I'm going to warp here. Yeah, we've still got a little bit of delta V here. 164. We'll see if we need to move out of this tank. If we do, that's fine. So for the moment, that's okay. And we are now going to set up for a trip over to our colony habitation unit. Debris. Well, technically it's the colony core, but that's fine. So sometime around, I have no idea when this is going to be. Yeah, that's awkward timing for sure. Looks like we're going to have to do an orbit. Come on. Let me press the orbit button. Do I have to zoom in? It really doesn't want to press the add orbit button. You know what? We'll do it here. Let's see here. Graphical maneuver editor, add orbit. There we go. That makes things a little easier. So we can see here, we're going to need actually another couple of orbits. That's fine. It's not a very long warp. So that'll work there. And then we'll just bring this on in timing-wise to about here. 16.4 kilometers. Okay, and let's bring that down. I see 12.6. Yeah, this is close enough. So that'll do. We will align to that maneuver. Unfortunately, I don't really want to physics warp with how bendy this thing gets. So we're not going to do that for now. But this is definitely going to be a very interesting rendezvous. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to control from here and see if that changes anything. It doesn't. Okay, good. Good to know. It shouldn't, for the record, but you never know. So we've got enough for this, for sure. But what about our relative speed differential? 53.2. It should be okay. So let's go ahead and warp around. Excellent. It'll be done warping here in a moment. Cool. Time warp complete. So we're going to warp on forward here. We've got about 50 seconds. And we will commence this burn shortly. 16, 15. Yeah, that's a little bit long yet. Let's continue to warp. Okay, mark. That's probably close enough. What's that encounter looking like? 10.9 kilometers with a relative speed of 51.4 meters per second. I like it. Okay, so we're going to go probably pro-target here. And then we're just going to warp around to about here. Cool. Now, we don't yet see our target here. It should be very close. There it is. Fantastic. So we're just going to head over towards the target, and we need to pull the prograde marker for now onto the target marker. So we're going to head over to the target marker and then hop into stability assist here. Because we're going to keep going a little bit. And we need to pull this node on over. Cool. So we'll park around here for the time being. That's just a slight corrective burn. And we can definitely see we're going to need to get this fuel out of here. So we're going to pin this open, and we're going to pull this fuel out. There we go. Fantastic. We don't need to have fuel in this, for the record. It's just a nice to have sort of thing. So we're just pulling this node on over, doing a slight corrective burn here. There we go. And now we're going to flip over to anti-target. In the meantime, I want to check in and see 0.2 kilometers. That's looking good. Okay. So we're going to have to line this up very carefully. There's no doubt about that. And we're flipping on over here. So 137 meters per second here, huh? I'm actually going to pull all of this fuel out at this point, and we can refuel this tank when we're done. It'll be fine. No real concern there. So we'll pull that fuel out of there for now. And like I said, we'll refuel this later. Cool. So we've got 1319 meters per second, which is more than enough. And we can definitely see that our retrograde node is a little bit off. So let's do a corrective burn. For our retrograde, remember, we want to push the retrograde node, not pull it. So we're pushing the retrograde node here, and we're slowing down a little bit while we're doing this corrective burn. Just making our way over. That's about right. Cool. We'll head over to anti-target here. And we're going to need to start our actual braking burn here very, very soon. We're about a kilometer out right now. And let's go ahead and start our braking burn, bringing this on down. I want to go into target retrograde here. Okay. And I want to push this node. It's very hard to steer this thing, though. Okay. That'll do for now. So we're only moving at 3.6 meters per second, right? At this point, we know that we're coming in backwards, and that's fine for the moment. We're coming in about exactly where we want to be. At this point, I'm going to thrust limit this guy down to like half a percent. It's way too much thrust. And we're going to warp in here a little bit. Cool. So we're about 100 meters out right now. And we're going to bring ourselves to a dead stop here in a moment. Okay, slowing down very minorly here. Okay, doing a full burn at 0.5%. 0.5% is pretty low. No doubt about that. Noted. I expected a little bit more thrust to weight at 0.5%, but it's fine. It's going to be a little awkward, but it's fine. Okay, there we go. We're basically at a dead stop. I'm now going to set this as our target. There we go. And we are going to set this as our target. And we're going to rotate around towards target. Hopefully we have enough space to do this maneuvering. Are we controlling from here? Control from here. Thank you. There we go. So we're moving on over. And we'll see if these survive the docking procedure. They're pretty close here, but I think they'll have clearance. Maybe. Maybe. It's a hard maybe. So we'll just get this lined up. And we're moving these one at a time. We got to make sure that this is pretty close to correct. There we go. And we'll move back over here now. And we will point at target. And hope that we don't swing through and knock something out. Because that would be awkward. Okay, I'm going to turn SAS off here. Or actually, I'm going to turn it on to Stability Assist. I just want to hold for the moment. And we're going to head over to the target. And once we get this flipped, we will hop back onto Stability Assist. We'll need to get it rotated, of course. Okay, back onto Stability Assist. Yikes. That's real close. That is real close. Okay, let's freeze those physics. Got it. That is incredibly close, but let's head over towards the target a little bit more cautiously this time. I think we're going to take out this solar panel, perhaps. We did impact it. Okay, freezing those physics. Freezing the physics again. We are definitely impacting here. Okay. Yikes. We're going to need to roll this guy a little bit. And these photovoltaic panels are going to be in the way. I'm going to go ahead and pop out our... Well, we need to kill our relative velocity here. We have basically no room to maneuver. This is why I'm sad about the RCS. But we're pulling this on over. And this docking maneuver is going to be very awkward. No doubt about that. Docking forces may take over here. That's a hard maybe. Okay. Let's rotate the station here to try to match the actual craft. Now, this dock is not our final dock. We're going to undock, change things around, and re-rotate. Now, I'm not surprised that we ended up losing this solar panel. That's not shocking in the slightest. And let's bring this on in. Awkwardness is ensuing. Okay. Awkwardness is really ensuing here. I was hoping that it would just dock up here. But it doesn't seem interested. There we go. Okay, so this is not our final dock, for the record. SAS is off. We're just kind of rotating over here. Hilarity is ensuing. And we're going to need to make a few modifications. So Kim, you are going to hop out here. With your primary mission being to come down here and remove this solar panel. Just place it here for now. Cool. Now we'll board. And I'm going to freeze these physics. Cool. Now, we're going to undock. There we go. Switch over to here. Set this as our target. And we're going to rotate a little bit to be about like that. Make sure that we're controlling from the correct position. Okay. SAS on, please. Okay. We're going to point at the target and get our rotation approximately correct. Oh my. Our SAS is definitely overshooting. Like I said, lack of RCS makes this very awkward, but something approximately like this. We're now looking to redock. So, unset target and control from here. Cool. There we go. We're redocked. Well, that was definitely exciting. No doubt about that. We're going to pin this open. We are going to move all of this fuel over that we can. So, in here. Perfect. And then we're going to ditch this and strap this in. So that'll be fine. I'm going to warp here while we're doing this, just to make it go a little faster. There we go. And we've even got a little bit of fuel in here. Cool. So no fuel wasted there. I like it. And we'll now undock here. And that's out of here. We no longer need this. Beautiful. Now Kim is going to hop out again and climb down here. There is a broken solar panel over on this side, I believe, but that's fine. I don't actually care about that. What we're going to do is we're going to let go and hop on down, grab here, since there's a bit of a gap there, and we're going to look to strut this in. So we're going to grab, we need to go into Kerbal construction mode. We're going to grab here, and this is going to go like so. There we go. That didn't actually go, but that's fine, I guess. We'll put one. Let's turn on snapping, thanks. There we go. And let's place this here. 1. 2. And then 1 down below. So 3. And finally, 1 over here. 4. Excellent. Okay. And now Kim can head back in. So we'll just head on up. Grab this. And board. Excellent. So now all we need here is, well, there's some distance needed here. but that's fine. All we need now is our power module. And of course, we've got this like haphazard solar panel over here. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Kadra, Unisol, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.